Hello and welcome back to Stop and Go F1, or should I say Stop and Go F2, because it's time to take a look at the Formula 2 for the Bahrain Grand Prix. And in a very similar mood to the Formula 3, we had a fantastic sprint race, followed by an alright feature race. We'll get into all that and more in just one moment. Before we do, though, remember to like and subscribe. And a huge shout out to the members: Dakota, the Joyce James, Robin Myers, Cinnamon Strudel, Michael Johnson, F, Edam on sandwiches, and Mr. Eurovision 1986. I think that... I'm so sorry if I forgot someone there. I don't think I did. I think that was all of them. If you want to become a member, click the link in the description on either YouTube or the Patreon. You get your shout outs, you get your early videos, you get all the good stuff. It's all there for you. I'm stumbling now. Let's get on to F2. So, if you haven't watched the F3 video, that is available now. But like I said, for a very similar formula has the Formula 2 in terms of a fantastic sprint and a feature race which was okay. Let's get into the sprint race, because it was championship leader Joshua Dirksen on pole. Dino Bogdanovic was alongside him in second place after his outing in the Ferrari for FP1 on Friday. Joshua Dirksen has a good lead, but not too far behind him. Victor Martins gets pushed off the track by Alex Dunne, and Martins takes out both the 150 metre board before his front wing falls out, gets stuck underneath the car, and he goes deep into turn one. Thankfully, he's able to keep on going from there, but this was one of the many, many moments of Alex Dunne in the sprint race where he was just a menace, and I think got away with everything. So there you go, that's how it is sometimes. Further back, Montoya was hit by Amaury Cordial and he spins the car. At the front of the race, Bogdanovic was in second place, and at the start of this, there was just a lot of smoke coming out the back of his car. It seemed like every time he hit the brakes, there was smoke coming out the back, and it wasn't lockups or anything like that. It looked like it was coming out of the engine. Didn't seem to have an issue from there, but yes, again and again, we saw that from Bogdanovic's car. There is debris all over the place into turn one, but that is what happens when you break two brake marker boards and your front wing. So the safety car comes out so they can fix that. Esterson is in the pits to replace his front wing because something's happened there as well. He then stalls the car. Pepe Marti has... he's the big gainer from the start of the race, going up 5 places to P6. Arvid Lindblad also had a good start, going from 16th to 11th, just outside the points in the sprint race. Safety car ends on lap 5 after they fix everything up from there. Marti passes Dunne pretty early on after being pushed off the track. Once again, Dunne fully getting his elbows out here. It was said that they were going to have to make Marti give the position back. In the end, Dunne does get back in front. I don't think Marti did give the position back. I think Dunne just got the position. There's a 10-second penalty for Cordial for causing that collision with Montoya. Then, as we continue through the race, we have a wonderful little battle between Vasseur and Villa-Gomez, where Vasseur takes P3. And on lap 11, Dino Bogdanovic takes the lead. There is a massive dive bomb from Alex Dunne, who takes 4th from Villa-Gomez. Then we see Max Esterson is out of the race. Not going well from him at all, this sprint race. This brings out the safety car. This is when we get a little bit of fun, because it was Kushmaini, who was already right at the back of the grid. He pits for the soft tyres. You don't have to pit in a sprint race. He did it anyway. This then brings in quite a few people. Cordial, Gurther, Crawford, Fornaroli, Miata, Gabriele Mini. He was 10th. They all come in for new tyres. The thing with Mini was he was the highest position driver to pit. And he pit for the hard tyres, not the softs. I think that was where his downfall was, because he was in the best position to maximise from this, but I think was on the wrong tyres. Safety car ends on lap 19, and Joshua Dirksen takes the lead back from Dino Bogdanovic almost immediately. Alex Dunne goes for yet another dive bomb, but gets it all wrong and has to go down to 5th place. Pepe Marti is powering through up to 4th now. And after the first lap, after the safety car, it is now Jack Crawford who is the leader of the drivers who has pit. He was in P11 at this point. Bogdanovic has a huge lockup and nearly takes out Dunne, And then we have Luke Browning, who gets past both Arvid Lindblad and Alex Dunne in only 2 corners. Dunne goes for another dive bomb, but it doesn't work, and Arvid Lindblad gets the cutback on him and goes with the P7. We are 3 wide between Mini, Crawford, and Gerfer, but somehow they all make out okay. There is contact, because I think it was Crawford was in the middle, gets properly sandwiched, has a bit of a moment. There's contact with all 3 of them, but somehow, by some miracle, they're all okay to continue the race from there. Marti's fighting for P3 now with Richard Verschoor. Dirksen is weaving all over the place down the straight, but Verschoor has an incredible move for P2. And then, my goodness, Marti has a fantastic double overtake for second place on lap 22 of 23. And then on lap 23 of 23, Pepe Marti takes the lead. He went from 4th to 1st in less than half a lap. And that was on the final lap of the race. Fantastic stuff from him. Dunne is out at this point, which, in a way, it was karma for all the horror he had caused throughout this race. Verschoor passes Dirksen with 2 corners to go for P2, and as we cross the line, Pepe Marti goes from 11th to 1st to win the sprint race. Verschoor is in 3rd. Joshua Dirksen is 3rd. Sorry, Verschoor is 2nd. Joshua Dirksen's in 3rd until he isn't. He got disqualified later on. So Beganovic was 3rd. Gerfer 5th. Lindblad 6th. Villagomez in... I'm sorry, my numbers are all wrong because I've written Dirksen's disqualification. Beganovic is 3rd. Gerfer 4th. Lindblad 5th. Villagomez 6th. Mini in 8th. Fornaroli 9th. Rio Miata in 10th. An incredible sprint race. If you haven't watched the sprint races from yesterday for both Formula 1 and Formula 3, go out of your way to watch them because they are something special. But now let's get on to the feature race, which actually is the first feature race of the year for Formula 2, because of course the Australian feature race was cancelled due to the bad weather, and this is the 200th Formula 2 race since the new version of Formula 2 came into being. We have Formula 3 champion Leo Fornaroli on pole position. Victor Martins was the man who was supposed to take pole in Australia. He starts in P2 in this race. Championship leader at this point is Richard Verschoor. He is down in 6th. It's a fantastic start from Fornaroli, who manages to keep the lead. Dunne is up to 2nd. Victor Martins, another bad start for him. I think the last few times he's been on the front row, he hasn't been able to start very well. My mind goes back to Monaco last year where he had a very bad start. He was down to P6 after 1 lap. Marti now putting pressure all over Villagomez for P3. That's on lap 6. And on lap 7, Alex Dunne takes the lead. Meanwhile, in the same stretch of road, Marti is up to 3rd. Villagomez loses another place to Martins, then another place to Stanek over the course of 3 laps. Now, the pit strategy was the big thing here, though, in this race. We had the front few, my goodness, who were on the soft tyres, whereas loads further back on the alternative on the hard tyres. Victor Martins was the first of the front lot to pit off the soft tyres. That's on lap 13. Luke Browning was the man who I think kind of mastered the strategy from where he was today. Was started on the hard tyre, but they kind of realised quite early on that the soft tyre was a good race tyre and would last quite a bit. So Browning ditches the hard tyres relatively early to get the most out of those soft tyres, and that definitely works for him as we go throughout this race. Fornaroli and Marti pit from P2 and P3 on lap 16, so this was 3 laps after Martins had pit, and Martins does get the undercut on them, but over the progression of the race, Martins just did not have the tyres underneath him to be able to hold on to those positions. Alex Dunne pits from the lead on lap 17. Browning, though, who's on the alternative strategy, now on those soft tyres, he passes Marti for P4 on lap 18. He's up to P3 on lap 21, passing Fornaroli. And a couple of laps after that, he passes Victor Martins for P2. And then Victor Martins just goes further and further down. Fornaroli passes him for P3. He does fight back, but cannot get the place. That's on lap 28. A lap later, Marti's passed him for P4. Then, as we go on to the final race, the final lap, the most interesting part here is first and second was secure. Who was going to finish third? It was Fornaroli versus Pepe Marti. For me, Fornaroli was very, very aggressive in the defence here, weaving all over the place down the start-finish straight, pushing Marti out wide to make sure. So he went across wide on the second straight to make sure that Marti had to go around the outside of turn 4, then cut back very hard, nearly hit him, gave him just in terms of the millimetre, just the amount of space he needed into turn 4. It was incredibly, incredibly aggressive from Fornaroli. It could have gone dreadfully wrong. Thankfully for him, it didn't. Fornaroli was able to keep P3. As we crossed the line, Alex Dunne takes his first ever win, the first ever Irish win in Formula 2 in the 200th race. Browning is in second. Fornaroli, as I said, keeps P3. Marti 4th. Martins 5th. Vershaw 6th. Bogdanovic 7th. Lindblad in 8th. Mini 9th. And then Joshua Dirksen in 10th. The feature race is not living up to the hype of the sprint races so far this weekend, but overall, the weekends in general for both F2 and F3 far better than they had been in Australia. As for star of Formula 2, for me, I'm giving it to Pepe Marti. P11 to P1 in the sprint, and then fighting all the way to the end in the feature. He is the star for me. But there you go, that is Formula 2 done and dusted for another week. We'll be back next time out. When is Formula 2 even back? I don't know. But when it is back, it'll be here on the channel. Of course, later on today will be all things F1. Driver ratings out tomorrow. Then the Stop and Go F1 Retro Review of 1981 Monaco Grand Prix out on Tuesday. So still loads to come on the channel. Make sure to subscribe for all that. I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Goodbye.